Well, here we are at Parker Automotive fans, and today we're working on a 2005 Nissan Quest. This is an SL submodel, 3.5 motor. Customer came in with the concerns of a recent fire in the, she said, passenger side front engine compartment near the coolant reservoir. Had a belt squeal. She believed it was the belt. So here's what the mechanic has found.
Right, okay, so real quick, if you can get in there, you can see it's the whole front of this motor.
Let me pause it. All right, so we handled that customer in the office, and here we go with whatever you're showing me in here. I guess the oil saturation?
So, yeah, the oil. And if you look.
Whoa, look at that axle. Phew. I mean, the axle's covered in oil.
Right, and so it most likely is more of that is a power steering pump leak.
Oh, the components are covered
we
with
won't know unless
gunk,
we cleaned it.
which we're probably not doing.
Right, so we're going to come over here, and if you can look up.
Oh, yeah, I can see that alternator covered in oil.
Just where it burned at is where it cleaned off the oil. So,
oh, wow. Yeah, where it's clean, that's where the fire was.
Right, so we're going to come underneath of it. Let's come back here.
Can you, if you put that light there, I can see under that pulley real good from here. Can you come back to where you were just for one second? Just so I can see all that. Yeah, see all that gunk up under in there in those pulley areas? And because, hold on. There's the alternator. Here is under the pulley. And you can just see that everything is really
saturated,
gunked up. Okay, wherever you want to go next.
All right, so you need to come back here, and I don't know if you can look, no.
Let me pause this real quick.
Okay, so,
all right, so I got my chair, and I got a great view of all under here.
Oh, right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a complete saturation all the way across. So I don't know where that's coming
Let me come
from.
in and out. It's fuzzy, which I noticed last week. It'll correct itself. Let me look at you for a second. There we go. It's correcting itself. Go back to the car. There we go.
Okay, so. Okay.
Shine a little light up in there for me. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Okay, so.
All right. Whatever you want to say.
And you can see it's saturated over here.
Whoa. Holy crap.
But if you see, the thing is, you're looking at the transmission. If you look up higher, you can see it's pouring out of the back of the valve covers. So most likely it's also valve cover gaskets. That power steering pump looks like it's leaking profusely.
Look on the screen.
Right, well that's just the cake buildup. So it's been happening for a while. That's just letting us know that it's been going on for a long period of time. If you can, watch this, you can come over here and just, you see the back, if you see it, you see the back of the alternator? I do.
Let me make sure the camera does. Yeah, put the light up in there. Well, that is an oil-soaked alternator for sure.
Where it shows that white...
Pull the light out a little bit. It's too bright.
See, right here is where I want... Oh, yeah, you see it's just falling apart. Hold on, let me... it's hard because this thing's super bright.
Our light is super bright.
Okay.
That's a pretty good... Is that the wires right there that you can see got burned up?
Yeah, but you got to look on there because I don't think it's showing on here. There you go. But move over. There you go. So the whole back of the alternator is actually melted too.
Wow.
But that's just the plastic cover. But, and I don't know if maybe I can... Let me see something so you can see that it disintegrate. You see, it's just falling
You can
apart.
see ashes flaking because it was on fire.
Right, and that's where it was on fire. The bad is, it's actually testing okay. So I got two options here. I either tell the customer to replace that also.
Well, we are going to recommend she replaces it because I'm not going to be responsible when it catches on fire again for the lack of maintenance.
It possibly caught fire because it's saturated with oil. You know, you got to remember this is an electrical component, and you know, it's heated up. So, and then you got liquid oil or transmission fluid or whatever is leaking on there. The belt, you see, the belt is like completely done. It's like rubber or like a sponge, You know, it's just breaking in half. If I squeeze this hard enough, I bust it in half. The customer states that the previous mechanic changed all this, and he may have,
but also after digging in a little further, because one of our biggest things here with, you know, customer technician confusion is they'll say, well, I just had that done, but then we dig in a little further and we realize he did it a year ago.
Right.
So just having it done and having it done a year ago, really, that's totally two different things. Right. So what I'm doing now is verifying, when did you have it done? When they say a year ago, I go, well, that's not recent. 30 days is recent. Anything after that is substantial amount of time.
And then with the excessive oil leaking, you know, it just...
I mean, who knows? She might have had an oil leak in a totally different spot and they took care of it.
Right.
And then she got a new leak. And that's what I had tried to explain to her. You know, maybe he did take care of your leak a year ago. And maybe now you have a new leak, or, you know, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
You have somehow something else started leaking.
Well, the year of the vehicle lets you know that the leaks never go away.
It's an 05. Today's February 5th of 2018.
Right, so it's 13 years
I like to put the date out there because these videos will be well remembered, and 30 years from now when we're watching them, when we're retired sitting on a beach somewhere in our mobile home, we'll be looking at our videos saying, remember the day.
Right, on that thing. I'm going to show you the top of it, because not only did this damage, did it damage the alternator wire. Let me go stop this from falling.
Sorry. See how he pushed me out of the way? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so if you come over here.
Wow, look at the top of that valve cover too, real quick. Just
this isn't an oil leak that was taken care of. That's what I'm trying to say.
It didn't just start yesterday.
Right, it didn't just start. It's been going on.
How can we tell? You know, it's not just liquid anymore. It's mud.
Right. Because of all the dirt and everything. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to point to it. You might not be able to see. You see the...
I'm seeing it pretty well.
Oh, are you? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's okay, a good...
So right here.
Yep.
The wire is actually melted all together. So I'm going to have to fix this. This is a variable timing sensor, so I got to fix that wire. And then if you look straight down, maybe, if you look down, you see how all the wires are all burnt together and meshed together. The alternator actually tests okay, but if you look down a little further, yeah, there you go. So there you go. So that's all got to be fixed. Her excessive leaks are coming from all over. So.
Work on cars, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Become a business owner, they said. It'll be fun, they said. We'll be back.
We'll be back. Okay, so we're back real quick. This is just me, Jim from Parker Auto. Here's those wires so that we get it. I hope I'm not moving real fast, but here's the wire. This is to the actuator up top, variable timing. And then you see it actually caught fire and it melted it all the way up. So I'm going to repair that end and or replace the whole pigtail. And then here's the alternator plug. And like you can see, that's all melted together. So I'm going to have to, oh shit, yeah, I'm going to have to replace that. And here's the actual for the battery. And like you can see, it's smoked. But, and without taking this alternator out, my wife is actually on the phone with them right now, trying to get them to get the alternator. And we'll just see if we can get that. All right, thanks. Or, yeah.
All right, so I consulted with my customer. We discussed everything. We have approval to also replace the alternator. And so that part has been ordered.
All right, so this is the back connector to the alternator. Like you can see from the fire, it actually melted together. I don't know if it was all the way through, but like you can see, the wire's exposed, and the wire's exposed over here. That might have been just melting together. I pulled it apart. I got to check it. Now this one right here, man, is melted all the way down.
Wow.
And I'm gonna have to.
Well, when I talked to the customer, she was actually contemplating on not replacing the alternator, and I said, well, you have to understand that if you roll out of here and you have another alternator fire, I'm not responsible. I said, and or, you know, we showed in the video earlier how caked it is and saturated with oil. I said, you know, if your car don't start tomorrow because you have alternator failure, I'm not responsible. So once I said all those things, she decided, I should probably replace the alternator.
Yeah.
Which, well, that's true, though. You know, if her car catches on fire and she don't want to fix what caused the fire, we're not responsible.
Right, but we really don't know. Because it could have been literally because of the oil leaks.
Right.
So. You know.
Well, I talked about that as well. I said, whatever you have leaking all over your components, unless you handle that, I'm still not responsible. So.
Right. We're not responsible for that stuff. Man, this is.
I mean, I want to be responsible for it, but you know, people don't.
We're responsible.
They don't want to fix everything at once.
Well, we can't.
So
we could actually end the diagnosis, and then we'll start another one on pulling the alternator out.
Maybe I'll pause it and just keep it all in one.
All right. Well, you could, but the problem with this thing is it's going to keep going dead. Yeah, we don't. We're not.
So we'll have part 2, alternator replacement. So there's our diagnosis for fire, belt squeal.
Fire, belt squeal, alternator, possible failure. We don't know. We just know it's what the outcome of it. We can see that there's oil leaks, and this is something that customers are going to have to, or you out there, your car is saturated with oil. Oil is burnable. At certain temperatures, it will catch fire. It's a hydraulic fluid. It takes a long time, but it can catch fire.
You know, one thing I've been telling some of our customers, keep a fire extinguisher in your car, because, you know, electrical fires and fires happen, and a lot of cars just sit there and burn up while they're waiting for the fire department. But if you're a little proactive, you know, everybody keeps a jack, everybody keeps a little bit of oil maybe. Put a fire extinguisher in your car. Yeah. Be proactive. If your car catches on fire, you have the ability to extinguish that fire instead of just watching your transportation burn up. Right?
Yeah. God, thank you for watching Parker Automotive. God bless you. God bless America. And stay safe.